duplication or repetition is there from one product to another product. Like I said, concurrency still remains the same. It's the value of how much concurrency you want to support varies from product to product. So getting into the non-functional requirements. So non-domain requirement, non-functional requirement, they are interchangeable. Non-functional requirements, there is a big list of requirements, but not all the requirements are, all the list of non-functional requirements need not be supported by every single application or product. This is where the project managers and the business analyst role becomes important, to sit and identify which of these NFRs are important for my project, for this particular customer, for this particular business scenario, right? For example, scalability is an NFR which talks about your ability of your product or system to be able to handle growing amounts of or volumes of data. So today I'm able to handle, say, 100,000 transactions per hour. So tomorrow, can I handle 10x times of it? If I have to handle 10x of times of it, then how much of change should I undergo? Is it a matter of adding another machine, or is it a matter of doing an architecture design rework? So that talks about scalability. So, and for certain products it becomes very important. For example, if you are doing with SaaS related products, right, multi-tenant SaaS kind of products, you have to plan for scalability. You don't have a choice, because your expectation is that you're going to get more and more customers down the line. So it's no more a choice, but you have to take into consideration. But if it's probably an enterprise application, maybe you know that it's not going to drastically change from 1x to 10x. So you may not give a very high importance to this NFR. But the crux is, somebody has to apply their thought process to decide which of these non-functional requirements are critical for them, which are primary and which are secondary. Some of the things that really have to be thought about for all the applications. One is availability, how far the system should be available, right? Is it 24/7, or are we talking about 12/5? Only on weekdays it has to be there, and it's okay if there's a downtime, or is it not at all okay? Do you want 100% availability, or are we talking about the 5 nines, 99.999 availability? Because it makes a lot of difference when it comes to your architecture itself. Right? Integration. How much of integration do you foresee? Do you expect to integrate with a wide range of variety of systems, or are you talking about just one system? Similarly, the second list also has various things. The deployment model, very important. How is this product going to be deployed? Is it going to be deployed on a on-premise? Is it going to be working on a hosted model? Is it going to be working on a multi-tenant model or an on-premise? Now, how do I support all these different models? Some customers, as a business strategy, they decide to go with a hybrid model, which means they want the product to be able to work in SaaS model, multi-tenant model, hosted model, as well as an on-premise. If this is the case, how do I keep it generic? Right? So some thought process has to go there. Some things like usability and how much of testability is there in the product. How quickly can I extend my product, modifiability and extensibility. So today I design my product, but tomorrow I know things may change. So if customers are coming with a change, how can I do the change? Or if there is an incremental thing that is happening, I already have a form done, and I want to be able to add few more information to it. How quickly can I do this? So that's the extensibility part of it. So if you look at all these non-functional requirements, you will understand that it has a very good overlap with the functionality. So whatever focus you give for the product functionality, application functionality, similar focus have to be given to the non-functional requirements. And once you do that, you will definitely save a lot of time, a lot of rework. Functionality development becomes much more easier, because most of the things are taken care by the NFR. It's just the logic of your functionality has to be focused on. Now, while handling this NFR, some of the common myths or common mistakes, common pitfalls. One, like I don't have an architect, so let me deal with the most senior most person in the team, right? So that doesn't work that way. As you saw, the NFRs deal with a different kind of approach. It's not the regular addition of a form or a regular crude operation that we are talking about. It deals with the design of how your system should work, the blueprint of the system itself. The other common mistake is the NFRs. How do you define the NFRs? Now, in some cases, customers are also not very clear. They will say, I want a high performance system. I want a rock solid system. These are very vague terms. Now, how do I measure if a system is rock solid or not? That's very subjective in nature. So one thing you need to do, whatever list we saw here, you need to be able to put a number to this list, right? So when I talk about scalability, what am I talking about? It should be scalable. System should be scalable to be able to meet 5,000 concurrent users. Now that's a more a tangible version of NFR, rather than saying I want a very high scalable system, right? So that's one common pitfall. And the other problem is the estimation for this NFR. So again, what happens is this NFR gets lost across the product. So it gets merged with the functionality, and it goes to the developers for estimation. So like in earlier example, I said we're talking about a booking form. Okay, it's a simple booking form. Let me go and put some hash. This is what a developer is going to think, right? Now, if the same is done by an architect, he knows that it's not just a booking form. It's about developing a highly scalable and expandable system which can take up any kind of load, right? That's a kind of an estimation that has to be done. Otherwise, you're going to end up with an incorrect estimation, leading to again problems later on. And NFRs being handled in the end is another typical mistake people do, because we feel that towards the end we can take care, let's build a system, let's do a performance testing, let's tweak it later on. Now it's not just like that easy to tweak it. It's okay if you're tweaking it for a few seconds, but you cannot tweak it across for minutes, right? So end of the day, if it's taking 5 minutes to finish a task, it's totally not acceptable, right? Your end user is not going to accept it. And the other common myth is the NFRs can be handled if you just put some buffers. So this is where the fixed bit quotation itself goes up in many cases, because the functionality part, the project manager and the team are very confident. They go ahead and put the exact numbers. But when it comes to this technology risks and the non-functional requirements, they don't have that level of confidence, so they end up quoting some kind of buffers into the estimate, hoping that that buffer should help them to take care of it. So there is no tangible approach or a framework in which they will be able to measure this NFR. We will see how to measure this down the line. We have a small